Welcome everybody to episode number 15 of the Straight Talk Commerce podcast. Wayne, great to be with you. I think
And
our
with you,
other
Dave.
host is sitting on the 405 somewhere, but
Yeah, if anybody sees Ian, let him know that we're filming right now. Okay, have him call in.
we could have him call in. I'd be supportive of that.
Actually, I think Ian is talking with Andrew Yang. Is it?
Did have Andrew Yang as a special class he teaches.
Yeah.
So
He's
yeah,
got
that's
way
exciting.
bigger fish to fry than you or I, Dave.
Exactly. How was your week?
This has been a very stressful week for me. Google pulled a very slick move on me, and anybody that's ever put an app on the Play Store or on Apple's, the Apple Store, the app business is a very tricky game, and what they did is fairly shady. I mean, you got to really, really mind your P's and Q's. I won't get into it right now, but let me just say, what I thought was going to take just a few minutes and a very short explanation to restore my app has taken almost 10 days, and getting someone to get in touch with you from Apple, from Google, is way harder than it has to be. Way harder than it should be, Dave.
That's very aggravating and a great way to kick off this week's topic.
Yeah.
The simple truth is all business owners should know, right? You're finding out the hard way, Wayne. No calling the IT department when you have your own business, right?
Well, I do the research. I was doing the research for this episode. I was in a pretty surly mood when picking the topic. This is one of the few times that I've actually chosen the top rated, because normally the way that we do this, Dave, I don't know if I've explained this, but what I do is I go and try and find what has been searched for over the last week. And rather than choose the top thing that's been searched for, I kind of go down one or two, because I feel like other people use this technique and they are currently making content based upon what that search was for the week before, right? And so I'll go down one or two. If it is still a high volume of search, boom, we got a great topic. And all of our topics, all 14 episodes, this being the 15th episode, all 14 episodes have been absolute, to me, bangers. The people that have contacted us, the people that have subscribed, the comments that we've been getting, people have been very appreciative of that. This topic was the number one searched, and I looked at it and went, wow, this is something I want to talk about.
Okay. That was my 85-year-old dad calling. So I had to, I was going to put him on the podcast and I'm like, maybe not. But, when they call at that age, you got to answer it.
You got to answer the phone.
So anyway, so I think right into number 15, be prepared to sacrifice. Be prepared for sacrifices. Starting a business often requires sacrifices, whether it's time, money, or personal relationships. Be aware of what you're willing to give up for and how long. And right today, I don't care if you were on your way to Disneyland or whatever was going on, everything's going to stop.
Well, if you do not treat your business properly, if you want to just tell people you work for yourself, you're in business, great. That's one thing. I don't have hours. You know this about me. I don't have hours. If someone calls me, if I have something to do customer service wise, I have several businesses that people call me in the middle of the night and I need to do customer service for. Or I could be at my daughter's volleyball game. I've got 3 girls, 2 of them play volleyball. Right in the middle of a volleyball game, I'll be on my phone handling some customer related problem. So if if your intention is to go into business for yourself for the freedom, you will have tons of that. But you will also be shackled at the same time. It's a catch-22. Because if it's going to succeed, then you're going to be at the mercy of the only boss you'll ever have, and that's your customer.
Totally. Excellent. Yeah, and I concur with everything, right? There is no good timing, and we'll get into some of that other stuff later. About being a business owner, and I think number 14, focusing on value, not just price. Competing on price alone is a race to the bottom. Instead, focus on delivering value to your customers. It really, again, a lot of these things depend on what you're doing and your cost. But again, if you're, depending on your margin, is it better to have twice the customers and half the margin if you're selling a digital product? If you're selling something that requires a lot of costs. I mean, these are all just factors to look at.
Well, a lot of business owners do not view their business from the customer's standpoint. Okay. If your customer does not feel that they are getting value, they're not coming back. They are not going to come back. If you put a steak in front of someone at a restaurant, and that steak came from, God knows where, and there's no flavor to it, you didn't season it well, there's no value there. The only value is it's in front of them right at that moment. Or if you have a shirt that you just sold from your business, okay, and 2 washes later it's faded and falling apart, there's zero value there. You would not accept it. It would be unacceptable to you. What makes you think that it's acceptable to your customer? And I'll give you the opposite version of that. Let's say that you are going to buy a pair of shoes. Okay, a big event coming up. Very important that you have nice shoes. You are not going to pay less, or you're going to go where you're going to get value. Now, maybe that's pay less, I don't know, but I'm saying that you're going to go get a nice pair of shoes, and you're not going to be looking at the cost. You're going to be focused more on how well will these wear, how do they look, how long will they look good. And that's the way that this works. We do it for ourselves. Why not do that same thing for your customers?
Right. And put your head in put yourself in the mind of the customer. What are they looking at? I spoke to a newer friend who had no idea about my business, comes from Silicon Valley startups. So great to hear his perspective on Witty. May have been a little painful in some things he pointed out, but saw a lot of the good. But then there were certainly things we can improve. So I'm excited to kind of dig into that next week. And one thing he talked about was just embracing technology. Leveraging technology can streamline, improve customer service, provide data and insights, and looking at the latest tools. If you're just starting, think about delivery. In the past, a lot of times we had put together, we want to deliver value to the customer. There may have been a couple of things that the customer would have found as equal, but then we're creating something that makes it harder for my team to execute. So sometimes you have to learn that hard way. And I think that's one of the main reasons we have this podcast, is so people don't have to go through the nonsense we went through. Because they can, right?
It's an excellent point. And I was going to use this as an example. When I got out of the Army and went into the mortgage business and moved out to California, and the mortgage business collapsed. So I decided I was going to take what I knew from the mortgage business and go into auto financing, doing the actual financing for automobiles. And I went to an automotive school, and I met a guy, Lex, and he insisted that I learn how to pencil a deal. And I don't know if you know what that means, but that means is with a pencil, write up a whole car deal, all the contracts, everything, as if you did not have a computer to do all of those things for you. My point is, if you know how to do that, then you're good. You can start adding the bells and whistles. You can start adding all of your pieces of technology. But too often, people add a bunch of bells and whistles to their Shopify store, drop shipping store, their website, right? And all of a sudden, they forget how to do the order if all of that goes down. And so now you're dead in the water. All that technology just slammed you and you can't do anything. Or worse, you start hiding behind the tech like Google and like Apple are doing, where they have no customer service. You cannot, look, I'm a business partner with Google. I bring them hundreds of subscribers to my app every single month, and they still hide behind customer service. And they're losing out, and I'm losing out on thousands of dollars every single month. And pretty soon, something's got to give.
Imagine a world where your professional growth knows no bounds. Welcome to Witty.com, celebrating 35 years of empowering innovators. Join a community where trust and influence are at the core. Experience exclusive training programs designed to elevate your skills. Our annual summit brings together the brightest minds from multiple industries. As a member, you'll gain access to invaluable resources and support. Network with like-minded professionals who share your passion for innovation. Benefit from mentorship programs that guide you towards success. Celebrate your achievements with a community that recognizes your efforts. Witty.com is more than a membership. It's a journey of growth and success. Join us in celebrating 35 years of innovation and excellence. Take advantage of our special anniversary membership offer today. Unlock your potential with workforce innovation, trust, and influence. Visit Witty.com and become a member today.
Well, like we talked about a couple episodes ago, these companies are using bots. We look at PayPal pages getting shut down.
Yeah.
Strike pages. It's tough.
Stripe. I mean, I've got a group in Nairobi that stole a bunch of credit cards and started charging one of my websites, $1 at a time. It was very easy to kind of get out of all of that mess. But the fact is, it's still prevalent. With all the technology we have, it's actually made the stressors, and it's actually made the fraud worse, not better.
Totally.
Very hard to be fraudulent in a general store back in the 1800s. You had a guy and his wife, and they ran the general store, and they didn't buy your story. You weren't buying anything from there. Now you've got to worry about a whole lot of things. But I still agree with you in that embracing technology, embracing the AI, artificial intelligence is here to stay. It is extraordinarily useful. We're using it on this podcast. We're using it on every one of the businesses that I'm running right now. It has made some things way easier, and it's allowed me to get places that I never would have gotten before. MelodyClouds, immediately when I launched it, was translated into 200 different languages. And it would have taken me months, if not years, to translate that page or those pages into all of those languages.
Totally. Yeah, great. No, it's crazy. So anyway, that's great. I think the next one, list number 12, is patience and persistence. And not delusion.
Yeah.
Right. So pivoting's okay. Succeed fast, fail fast is a thing.
Yeah.
I listened, which I'll post it. I did listen to a great interview or just kind of lecture, and part of the Sam Altman series. It's at Stanford, where these guys raised money. They thought they were onto something. Didn't necessarily. A lot of their assumptions did not work out. pivoted a few times. Then it turned out this little tool that they had built ended up being the solution that all the custom fixed the problem, right? So looking at it from a problem, but be patient, but talk to your people, get data, talk to your customers.
Well, patience and persistence are 100% the key to 99.9% of any of the worst problems. I mean, if you continue to identify something as a problem and you continue to work on chipping away at it, eventually you're going to make progress. The minute that you throw your hands up and you're done, I always say that there's a difference between quitting and stopping. You're driving along in a car, you see a red sign, you're going to stop at the stop sign, but you don't quit driving. Quitting means you put it down forever. I quit this. I quit smoking. I always say that people never quit smoking. They stop smoking because they can always pick it back up again. But, in this instance, most people will stop just before something breaks free for them. Just right before it's always darkest before the dawn, just before that light breaks, just before that dam bursts, they give up. They just fall to their knees and stop. And I really hope that we are the antidote for a lot of those people, Dave.
Totally. And this video was about this guy, Peter Reinhardt, who's the CEO of Segment, and he talked about product market fit and how important it is. So we'll put this video in the show chat. And I think it's just an excellent video. Props to
we'll link to it, and we'll also put a link in the description so people get a chance to take a look at that.
Totally. And then, another one I just want to give a shout out to is Michael Siebel, who was the co-founder of Justin.tv that turned into Twitch. Listen to that. That'll give you hope because, roller coaster rides, right? It's not all fun and games, this entrepreneur business owner stuff.
Well, it's not a straight line, Dave. There's many a slip between a cup and a lip. I mean, you take these turns and, just as quickly as you ascend the mountain, someone can come up and knock you off, or, your foot can slip. You can make the wrong turn at Albuquerque. There's a lot of things that can happen. And that's where your patience and your persistence comes in. Being able to identify mistakes. Some people cannot identify mistakes because they can't admit to themselves that they're flawed. They can't admit that they've made a boo-boo.
Exactly. So now, Wayne, let me, understanding the legal and regulatory requirements certainly is critical. I think as we get into AI, as we get into just all the regulations in the country and the UK Act, and right, I mean, kind of start off with the web. It seems like it's a little more on AI. It's just so easy to track what everybody's doing. So I'd say you have to be really on top of these types of things.
Well, with MelodyClouds, for example, one of the reasons that I made the decision not to collect people's information was because I wanted it to be global from day one. And so most of the country, not most, but a lot of the countries that I was dealing with they all have different laws, Dave. Everybody has a different idea of how much information is too much. And so those companies that are operating in the United States, it's Katie bar the door. People can take any information off of your phone that they want. As long as you opt in, there's really nothing they can't ask you. Okay. Try that crap in the EU. Okay. Try that crap in Ireland or in Brazil, for example. Okay. It's just, no. There's certain information you can't even ask someone. You don't have permission to ask them for that information. So people hold their information much tighter in other places on this planet. And so if you're going to run from the United States, if you are going to run an app that is dealing, and they all do, they're going to deal with other people's from different countries' information, then you need to get a very good handle on what the laws are in that location. Or you're going to get shut down very, very, very quickly. And that's something that we paid very close attention to from jump. And I've faced absolutely no problem when it comes to that, with the exception of Google and Apple in the US, because I was not collecting people's information while giving them this app, while letting them use this app. That's the only problem I had. I wasn't collecting any information, and that was a problem.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I want to share with you why I switched from Calm to MelodyClouds, and why you should too. I used Calm for a while, and it's a great app. But as someone who loves audiobooks and needs soothing sleep stories to wind down, I was looking for something that wouldn't break the bank. That's when I found MelodyClouds. With MelodyClouds, I get access to a vast library of audiobooks across all my favorite genres. Whether I'm in the mood for a gripping mystery or a heartwarming romance, MelodyClouds has me covered. And the sleep stories? They're magical. I drift off to sleep faster and wake up more refreshed. But here's the best part, the price. For just $5.99 a month, or $59.99 a year, I get all of this amazing content. That's nearly half of what I was paying for Calm. And trust me, the quality of the content is top-notch. I get everything I need to relax, focus, and sleep soundly without emptying my wallet. So, if you're like me and want premium relaxation and meditation content without the premium price, switch to MelodyClouds. You'll get all the content you love and more, for a price that can't be beat. Make the smart choice for your mind and your wallet. Try MelodyClouds today. For a limited time, try MelodyClouds at $2.99 for 60 days. If you love it, keep it for $5.99 a month. You can find us at MelodyClouds.com.
Totally. Crazy. Yeah, so anyway, these can be costly, but you can do your research on your own. Now, self-care is essential, Wayne, for number 10, right? Scheduling in those workouts, meditations, just making sure you take care of yourself. I mean, it wasn't too long ago you said you hadn't left your house for a week or 10 days, or what was it?
Well, I mean, anyone looking at me knows that I have to be doing a lot of self-care. You do not look like this by accident. I am under intense self-care programs, David. My eyes are super bright and I get plenty of sleep, and God knows my diet is pristine.
Oh yeah, I can tell that.
Yeah. So this is one that really hits home for me, self-care. No, to be honest with you, look, if you're going to run a business, you're going to grab something to eat when you can. It is something you need to be mindful of. You do need to take time out for yourself, but it's never going to be the same time all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, so anyway, pay attention. Don't let something happen before you wake up and want to do things. But schedule it in, get it on your calendar, make sure you can look back in the week and say, okay, how much, what's the ratio? How much time did I walk and talk? And there's things you could do now to be productive, listening to books, on tape, podcasts, talking to your AI like I often do.
It is kind of funny that the only time I have a tendency to leave home now is to go watch Mo play volleyball, or I even watch Reagan play volleyball on TV now. So I have an app. I downloaded the app. It's on the TV. Tracy and I will sit there and watch. We can't go to Iowa to watch her play. So, it used to be I would go outside the house for Reagan and for Morgan's game, and I'll go play golf a couple times, maybe a month. But other than that, I can run pretty much everything I need to do straight from headquarters here.
Totally. Amazing. Expect competition, Wayne. It's number 9. And I mean, I would say, of course, I think if you're coming up with something that no one else has, if there's no competition, sometimes that isn't a positive.
It's telling
Right?
you something. You got to ask yourself, why is no one else doing this? And you also have to ask yourself, hey, David, how many hamburger places are there in your neighborhood? How many restaurants sell a hamburger where you live?
Many.
Yeah, just about every restaurant where I live has a hamburger on the menu. So, does that mean that you selling hamburgers is a bad thing? No, it means if you have a restaurant, you better put a hamburger on it, because the demand for hamburgers is so great. So competition is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's always a canary in the coal mine. You've heard that term, canary in the coal mine. It means the minute that canary's dead, that means the lack of oxygen. So if you are in business and there's no one else in your area that's doing that business or that thing, you may want to, remeasure. You want to find out why that is. And maybe it's a good thing. Maybe you're going to just clean up. Maybe that's true. But I would suggest to you, knowing that that's the case, I would sleep a lot better at night knowing why no one else is doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. And learn, look around. I mean, I think that see what people are doing, right? They might overlap some of your business. What's a
Yep.
competitor? Are they trying to sell to the same person? He's selling against them. Are they solving a similar problem? How can you improve, right? Sometimes starting clean, there could be, a few companies that are head to head. Maybe they're much older. They're using that legacy technology. You can come in clean and take advantage.
You can always find out what your competitive advantage is over any one of your competitors. And it always made me feel better, because I had a very good mentor when I was younger who explained to me the third and third and third rule, 33 and a third, and the way that he explained this to me was this. All right, you have 100 people, 33 and a third of those people are going to buy from you no matter what you say or do. They just love you. You're the greatest. Okay, you will do no wrong to them. And 33 and a third of those people hate you. They don't like the look of you. They think that you're going to, whatever the reason, but they will never buy anything from you. It's that 33 and a third in the middle that you're actually selling to. Those are the ones that you have to come to with the correct message, because the other third, 1/3 of those people are going to come to you and buy from you no matter what your message is and what the cost and what the price is. They just love you. And the other third is not going to buy from you no matter what you do. You can't have a good message. You can't have a product that's good enough or customer service good enough. So you just want to concentrate on 1/3 of those people, and you're going to be just fine.
Totally. Totally. And there's tools like rival.com is an AI tool we talked about earlier in the year. We'll do an AI show for sure and talk about that. Hiring the right people, by the way, that's critical, right? Your team can make or break you. People aren't committed as you are. I was speaking to our friend Chris in Greece about this, and after many fails myself and some great people, and it's not even a good or bad, just sometimes people aren't in the position in life. They may be used to working for bigger companies. A startup may not be okay with them, right? Do I want somebody I'm just making a payroll payment to, or do I want a partner in the business? All of these things need to be factored in. And, lean and mean, baby. That's what
me, I have a very hard time. Now I do hire people to do short-term gigs for me. I've had from time to time longer-term employees. And my ultimate goal with them was to teach them enough about what we were doing for them to go off and do this on their own. I never wanted, I don't like being an employee, and I don't like having employees. I think that we were all created for more and better things than that. So if I ever hired someone and they collected a check with my name on it, they should know that I'm expecting them at some point in the either near or fairly near future to go off on their own and to do something, to have something of their own. Working for others creeps me out, and other people, I wish more people felt that way.
Yeah. But look, I mean, the important thing is to get clear online, to get clear in writing beforehand, right? So
Sure.
sometimes, as entrepreneurs, as we're moving at 100 miles an hour, we're not taking the time to do the due diligence. We're not thinking about this or that. So,
Well, we don't live in a society, especially here in the States anymore, where you can count on retirement. I watched my father work for a company 26 years. And the only reason he worked for them for 26 years was they fired him 4 years before he was set to retire. Okay. And they took that money that he would have in his 401k, and there was no retirement. You know what I mean? And so that really played I was young at the time. I was fairly young at the time. I already knew I didn't want to work for others. I like being able to make decisions on my own. What I needed at the time was that education. I needed to know exactly what it is I was doing. Now, I am more than happy to bring someone in, look at this podcast, for example, bring someone in, show them the things that they need to get to know, have encouraging conversations with them. I was listening to Witty, one of the
speakers.
guests that you had on today.
Yeah.
She was talking about mentoring, and it made me feel good. And it was all ladies. I was the only man in that room. I didn't know if you noticed that. And it was fascinating to me, Dave, because very few women mentor. Men mentor far more often than women do. And I am a girl dad. And so I decided to stick around in that room and find out what the attitude was about why that was. I mean, I so badly wanted to ask the question in that room, why it was that they did not get mentored and that they are not mentoring people or women, young girls or young men, whatever. But yeah, you have to do that. And if you're going to hire someone, you owe them that mentorship. You owe that to them.
Yeah.
Don't ever hire someone that you can't put your arm around and treat like they were related, like you are going to give them not only a steady paycheck, but that you are going to give them skin in the game.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And and I think the whole dynamic of different leaders, and especially if you're a young woman and getting your career, and just how do you create those opportunities? So that was fascinating to hear Monique's insights into a lot of that. And you can
Very
certainly
smart
check
woman.
that out on the Witty YouTube channel, which we'll do a link from here too.
Feeling isolated and disconnected? You're not alone. Many men struggle to find a community that truly understands them. Introducing Odyssey, a place where fellowship and brotherhood thrive. Join us on a journey of personal growth and meaningful connections. At Odyssey, we believe in the power of brotherhood. Our community fosters brotherly connections that last a lifetime. We come together to serve our communities and make a difference. Hear from those who have transformed their lives with Odyssey. Odyssey gave me the brotherhood I was missing. I found other business leaders and entrepreneurs who share my values. Together, we make a real impact in our community. Odyssey is more than a group, it's a brotherhood. Join us and discover the power of true fellowship. Take the first step towards a more connected and fulfilling life. Odyssey, where fellowship, business, and brotherhood unite. For more information, go to yte.com.
Now, Wayne, number 7, and a lot of times, this is overlooked, but just know your numbers, right? Sometimes we're just trying to capture market share. We're trying to, get our brand out there, which those are things that have value. But we also have to understand what our daily burn rate is and how we're gonna, keep going, right?
Well, it's not just know your numbers. You have to know what numbers to pay attention to, A. B, you have to know what those numbers are on a constant basis. Because, anyone that knows me knows that I'm very analytics based. I love the analytics. I watched a Shark Tank. I rewatched a Shark Tank. They are very big. Those investors, they do, the people that come on that show, a very good service by pounding into their head, know your numbers, know your numbers, know your numbers. You don't ever try to go in front of an investor or try, if you are going to invest in a business, you definitely don't want to invest in one where the guy cannot clearly state what it is he's selling and what those numbers look like. Okay. And so you as a business owner need to have that information at the tip of your tongue, at your fingertips. And this one, Mark Cuban, it was a woman that made cookies. She went on Shark Tank, and they always have what's called the Shark Tank bump. I think we've talked about this before. They always have the bump. When that show airs, they know that they're going to make a tremendous amount of money because people leave the show and go to their internet and try to buy something from them. Okay. A lot of free publicity. Anyway, Mark Cuban decides he's going to pal up with this woman. He's going to, invest in her business. And specifically because he knows that there's going to be this bump. Without him knowing it, though, she went back home and made a free shipping. So not only was she giving 25% off of the product, but she was also doing free shipping. That totally blew her numbers out of and she ended up losing everything.
That's crazy, right? I mean,
because she didn't know that adding on top of the cost of free shipping, adding that free shipping on there was going to invert her numbers. She was going to lose money with every order that went out of her door.
Without a doubt.
That doesn't happen if you know your numbers. That doesn't happen if you do that calculation and figure out, hey, what if I, let's say I did 10% off and free shipping. What does that do? What does it do if I have a 5% coupon and no free shipping? The amount of money that goes directly in my pocket goes up at that point.
Totally. Yeah. So, right. These are all just things to make sure and get coaching and come to our sessions, learn from other entrepreneurs. Figure out how to use AI for a lot of this. Because sometimes, especially now, automation is key and the answers are there. Now, Wayne, number 6, marketing is a marketing is a constant effort, right? I mean, God, all week it's like defining, refining, reading, looking, at what competitors are, not even just competitors, but like-minded, companies that could be similar in different spaces.
Look, customers are the lifeblood of your business, period. And marketing is not a constant effort. It is the only real effort. I mean, you are always to market your business, always. You get in an elevator, people in that elevator, you have a captive audience. They need to know what you do for a living. You need to wear it. You need to send it out. You need to hand it out. You are constantly looking for pools and pockets of people that want your product, service. Okay. You can never let up on that. You constantly need to be identifying, how am I going to get the word out to more people? We do that with this podcast. I learned some things this week about this podcast. that really drove my effort and commitment through the roof. And I'm happy to share those at some point with you, but really, really important that you market and let people know. So that being said, I want you to right now like, subscribe, and make a comment on this video. I'm never going to not ask you to do that again. And, that's our way of marketing. One of the ways that we're going to be marketing. We need you to tell others about the information that you're getting here.
Yeah. I mean, Wayne, should we pick like one of the subscribers to give like a free Witty 1-year Witty membership, a membership to MelodyClouds?
Someone during this podcast, someone is going to be hearing from our Straight Talk Commerce. One of our subscribers is going to be hearing from us this week.
Yeah. All right. Now, the importance of networking and relationship building, right? These are, I teach I lead my job search strategy coaching circle every Friday. So I'm always kind of coming off of it earlier in the day to this. I'm like, first of all, it's not about searching for jobs, for this one deal, for what's happening now. It's about building and nurturing those relationships ongoing, getting your brand out there, right? Connecting with other people, give. I don't know how many people I want to do increase my network, blah, blah, blah. Not even looking at what I do. And especially with LinkedIn, I know it's your favorite tool, Wayne, but it's like, if I have to know you, I'm not going to just say, if somebody sees Wayne and I are connected to somebody, they might say, oh, this person's okay to do business with, but to get the stamp of approval, I mean, I just think this stuff's important.
In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, effective project management is more crucial than ever. Many organizations struggle with achieving their goals due to inefficiencies and lack of direction. Tony Robbins' RPM framework can transform this approach. The RPM framework provides a roadmap for success. You'll soon see how applying these principles can revolutionize healthcare project management and lead to better outcomes for everyone involved. Let's take a deeper dive into applying the RPM framework to healthcare project management. It all begins with defining your outcomes. Think improved patient care, operational efficiency, and data accuracy. These goals set the stage for transformation. Next, understand your why. This is where you align your efforts with greater purposes like patient-centered care, innovation, and sustainability. A clear why gives you direction and purpose. Now, create your roadmap. Engage stakeholders early and often. Conduct readiness assessments to gauge where you are and what you need. Develop comprehensive training programs to bring everyone up to speed. Set concrete milestones and metrics so you can measure progress along the way. And don't forget, communication is key. Regular updates keep everyone aligned and motivated. Lastly, focus on the 20% of actions that will yield 80% of the results. This principle keeps you efficient and effective, concentrating efforts where they matter most. By following these steps, you harness the power of the RPM framework to reimagine project management in healthcare. This approach transforms outcomes and drives innovation in real-world examples. By applying the RPM framework, healthcare organizations can achieve transformative results. Imagine enhanced patient care, streamlined operations, and accurate data management. These are not just possibilities, but tangible outcomes. Real-life examples showcase the remarkable successes already achieved. Increased efficiency in patient care and precise data management demonstrates the framework's profound impact. Now it's your turn to start the transformation. If you seek guidance or assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Your journey to better healthcare project management begins now. Join Healthcare Project Management Association, or HPMA, today. Your first step in this adventure is contacting Ian Slade at ian@itconsultinggroup.com. He can guide your path from there.
I have always looked at this, and you can verify this, Dave. Anyone that comes up to me and says that they would like to work together, or they want an opinion or some help with something, I'm always going to offer that. Especially my advice or my introduction to another group. I'm always up to do that. what I have noticed, however, is that it is very rare. A lot of people, and you and I both know people like this, they have their own thing, and you don't ever try to, don't suggest for a moment that you are to be, shouted out by them, or, it's very closed off. I would talk to my kids when they were young. I can't put anything on your plate with your hands covering it. If you're going to sit over your dinner plate and hover over the top of it, there's no way for me to put more on there for you. Okay. And I would tell them, that's your sister's bowl. The only time I want you looking in your sister's bowl is to find out if she's got enough. Don't come to me saying you did this for Cassidy, you did that for Reagan, you did this for Mo. Don't come to me with that. The only thing I want to hear from you is, hey, Mo could really use a new pair of shoes. Or did you see, you know what I mean? That's what I want to hear from you. And unfortunately, with a lot of business owners, they get very hyper-focused on what they need. And they are not about, and they're more than happy to take resources from you and time from you and all of these things from you. But in the reverse of that, it's always an Einbahnstraße, one-way street. It's always a one-way street. And one of the things that I make a habit, once I find out it's a one-way street, I don't go down one-way streets. I go through, freeways. I'll go down farm to market roads, but I will not go down an Einbahnstraße.
I'm with you. Totally. Yeah. So I think, look, it's just always going, right? And if you're a giver, somebody you, Wayne, you give, you're going to attract the takers. Me too, right? So it's win-win partnerships.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, you do, but guess what? Even if you're not a giver, you still attract those takers. It's like a hen in a barnyard. She's constantly pecking. Okay. So, look, no one will ever turn me off of helping other people. That's never going to happen. You may as well stop right here. Eventually, I'm going to meet someone that's like me or more like me and you, and say, all right, look, we're going to do this together. This is where I see we have some, synergy. And so I'm going to talk about MelodyClouds to my group of people. And I would like it if you would do in return the same thing, or like you and I did with this podcast. It's no secret that you and I have commercials during this podcast for our business, and it would be very easy to manipulate where those things lie in this podcast. But in order to make this thing work, it's got to switch up. It's got to be you in the lead, and then me in the lead, and then Ian. You cannot be selfish when you're doing this stuff. You just can't be. It'll kill you.
Without a doubt.
If your business operations feel like a grind, you're missing out on the magic of artificial intelligence. Whether you're in retail, manufacturing, finance, or any other industry, AI is a game changer. From automating mundane tasks to optimizing your supply chain, AI can transform how you operate. We specialize in creating tailored AI solutions that meet your unique challenges and goals. With our expertise, you can improve efficiency, reduce errors, and make better decisions. Discover how AI can revolutionize your business. Contact us today at www.toolessentials.ai/consultation.
Yeah. And just adapting, right? Adaptability, and just getting to, like we talked about earlier, I think we probably covered this quite a bit, and that's really about just shifting and agile. And you see something, how fast can keep banging your head against the wall, or just be nimble, right? And a lot of that does come from the connections we've made, the people we've hired, the technology infrastructure we have that just allows us to pivot. Yeah, adaptability is key.
Well, I look at it like this. Those businesses that are huge and have gotten, gargantuan, the Apples and the Googles, and that they move very slowly. It takes a committee of 20 people to get them to agree to do something, to make a move, to make a pivot. The younger, leaner, hungrier businesses out there, whether it's a hardware store in the middle of the United States that's competing against Lowe's or Home Depot, they can do things that you'd never be able to pass through committee at Lowe's. You'd never get Home Depot to agree to do. All right. It takes too long. They've got so many things that that they're already trying to be everything to everyone. Okay. So your advantage as a small business owner needs to be taken advantage of. You have the ability to say yes far more often. Now, I'm not suggesting that you say yes to everything. What I am suggesting to you is, though, if it makes sense, you can quickly make decisions that it would take them months, if not years, to make. And you can operate at a much easier, slimmer margin than they can, because they just can't spread it out to other places nearly as quickly. A mom and pop restaurant can add anything they want to the menu. A chain or a franchise cannot. They cannot add their own thing to the menu.
Totally. Yeah. And as I'm looking, Wayne,
I saw that.
so
I saw that.
The bottom line is, I think everything we covered tonight is critical, right? And there'll be more things, but I think what we saw amongst all the things we talked about is being nimble, being lean and mean.
Well, being adaptable.
And
you said it really well.
Right. And yeah, and look, and I think, and actually, because I do have the corrected info here, which we now are down to the top three. And number three is, customer relationships are everything, right? Yeah. Getting out there, connecting with people, figuring out how to connect with them. Do your customers want text, email, meet in person, right? Whatever they do, be available. Connect. Don't wait for them to come to you too, is I think another thing.
I gotta tell you this, Dave. So I got an email today asking, and it doesn't happen very often. Thankfully, it doesn't happen very often, but somebody contacted me today and asked me if I would cancel their subscription to MelodyClouds. And of course, the largest button on that app is the unsubscribe button. And they were just a little, they're not used to that. They just wanted to make sure that they had gotten unsubscribed. And so I'm disappointed, but I get it. Sometimes people suffer money problems, or they realize that they've got one too many of something. And so I was looking through my records and noticed that this is one of a very few customers that happened to buy a membership when the membership was broken, and they had been paying $2.99 a month for 2 years. They had and I never went back to them and said, oh, by the way, I made a mistake and you're paying too little. I just ate it. I said, all right, look, they're going to get the $2.99 deal in perpetuity. Good luck to them. And, as long as they don't stop. Well, it was very funny because I got one of those people today, Holly. She contacted me and she said, hey, I want to cancel this subscription. And so I went in disappointed. And immediately when I recognized that she was one of these people, I got excited. I was like, I do not want to give this away for that little bit of money. So I'm glad that I got rid of one. I always want her to come back. You're welcome to come back anytime. But it was a mistake. She was paying too little, and I wanted to fix that anyway. So yeah, that is something that number one, that goes into knowing your numbers, and number two, being adaptable.
Totally. I like it.
And customer service. You cannot express how important that is.
Yeah. And just listen, reach out to people, be authentic. They appreciate it, you know? Um, I think one thing that's number two on the list, is to expect failure and learn from it, right? You're not hitting 100%. Not everything you do is going to be correct. As Wayne would say, he's always correct because when he figures out he does something wrong, he changes it to the other side and shifts. But
Yeah.
it's all about doing that stuff quickly and not, wasting time and money going down the wrong path.
Yeah, as opposed to people who know that they are wrong, have been proven wrong over and over again, yet still refuse to change their mind or change their opinion about something. And Dave, I look at it like this. If you look at Cooperstown, the Baseball Hall of Fame, okay? In order to get in the Hall of Fame, you bat 400 and you're in the Hall of Fame. That means for every 10 times that you went to bat, you got 4 hits, 4 on base, 4 times on base. That is crazy. So if you are to expect that you're going to go through your life making no mistakes, having no problems, having, your business is going to be run flawlessly, you're insane. It's just not going to happen. And the more you get in bed with that, the more you figure that out, the more often you're going to hit those home runs and those grand slam home runs.
Yes.
Because you'll start to recognize here's where the problems are going to come in.
Yeah, and it's great. Listen, nothing wrong with making a problem once. Make a mistake once. Sometimes twice, maybe. It could have been disguised as something else. If you're doing the same thing over and over again, you need to look in the mirror. Or perhaps what you're doing is leading you down the wrong road, right? And, look, as I look back, as I had the conversation with Daniel today, certainly guilty of that stuff, but that's okay.
I wish someone had come to me, the second book I ever wrote, and said, hey, didn't you do this before?
Yes.
Isn't this the way that you did the whole book? You're an author. Isn't this the way that you did it last time? This isn't going to work. Right. I wish they had done that.
And look, and be coachable. Listen through, this person's trying to give me gold, not like this person's trying to criticize me. Because sometimes people they'll listen through, you're trying to criticize me. You don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. I'm just trying to absorb it. I can take it. I cannot take it. Sometimes things aren't black and white. They may have made some great points at some points, but I have to, and what I said today too on this call, it's like, when you're in your business, you're working hard, you've been doing it for a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 plus years. I'm a fish swimming in the water. Fish doesn't know they're water. They're just swimming around. Right? We get married to this stuff and we're like this, we're not seeing all the shit out here. So I think, that's just a great lesson that I've had to learn over and over again the hard way.
Yeah, I think developing a thick skin or thicker than when you started is going to happen. I think you're going to be able to, most people do, as they get older and mature, they develop some calluses, and blind spots. They develop some blind spots to certain things. You need to get someone that you trust to give you some, advice. You don't have to take advice from everyone. Taking advice from certain people really sucks. Believe me, I know. And you may need to take that advice, but find someone that you really trust. Find someone that you trust to know the right answer, not that's going to tell you whatever you want to hear.
Totally. Yeah. And then, I think, number one, cash is king, right? So be in a position,
Well, cash flow. Cash flow is
right.
Being able to respond. Yeah, money talks.
1,000%. And cash flow. Just because a couple of your cousins or family members bought your product, said how much they love it, that doesn't mean you're quitting your 9 to 5 and jumping right in, right? So, you know,
I think this is more about scaling a business, okay? Knowing that, let me give you an example of what I mean. So I have a guilty pleasure. I like watching lawnmower videos. These guys will go to these homes and they love mowing lawns, okay? They love mowing lawns and they're very, very good. And they will drive around their town and they will find the most horrible lawn that they possibly can. They'll set up cameras and they will, for free, mow that lawn and really do a good job. And they'll record it and then they'll place it on YouTube, okay? I was talking with one of these guys not too long ago, and he made $800,000 and $860,000 from his YouTube channel mowing lawns. Okay, so now he drives around and once per week he will go out, mow a lawn, and put the content up on YouTube, as opposed to when he started, he would mow 7 or 8 lawns in a week and barely make rent, barely be able to make rent. This guy's house, Dave, oh my God. I mean, absolutely stunning place. But he figured out that there's a lot of people that like watching, find it very soothing and calming. I'm one of those people. And will watch that lawn being mowed. So it's kind of cool.
I'm not sure what we learned from that, Wayne. Maybe it's stop watching those videos and get back to work. But I hear you, right? Who would have thought when he's grinding it out, and again, he was heads down mowing those lawns, right? And it probably took somebody to tell him, hey, why don't you put this on YouTube and do it for free? And here's a plan, right? That he probably would not have seen with his blinders.
Well, no, I think my point is, yes, that
Oh,
too.
that too. I'm just saying, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, I think that's another kind of point to this whole thing.
Yeah, I think, though, that if you were to ask, 50 lawn maintenance companies if they're following this model, okay, they would tell you no, they don't record any of their lawn maintenance and they don't put any of those on YouTube. And they probably would tell you, oh, my insurance this or blah, blah, whatever. You talk to Al and his whole income shifted from mowing 7, 8 lawns a week to mowing 1 a week, 4 lawns a month, and making 100 times per year what he was making before. I think that's kind of my point.
Hey, right. Yeah. No, without a doubt. I love
He
it.
he also found out he didn't like mowing lawns as much as he thought he did.
Exactly. Well, look, I think there was a lot of gold here. I'll just kind of put a bow around it and say, use AI, use the tools. Come to our weekly sessions if you're not clear. You do not need to be a computer scientist. You don't need to even use right? I mean, there's the most untechnical people in the world. These tools now are just so there to assist them to amplify what they're trying to do. If you're not using these tools, your competitor are or will be. So work with us. Let us help you stay one step ahead. We have 2 AI sessions every week right now. We're launching the Straight Top Commerce weekly session in September. If you sign up before Labor Day, we have to buy a membership, give one to a friend. So I think, and you get 20% off just by using Straight Talk promo code.
And anyone that comes into that is an hour of business coaching. Okay. That is an hour of business coaching that would normally cost to have the experience that's going to be in that room. It would normally cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. being able to ask specific questions of Dave or myself. I mean, it's we really do hope to get a very tight-knit group of people and really superpower some businesses and have a very good think tank coming out of this.
Yeah, and even like today, or I guess it was yesterday, we had somebody that just gave a keynote at the on AI for the American Society of Psychiatrists or psychiatry or something like that. And she's coming to us to listen and learn. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, we must be saying something, to support her. And she's supporting us too, right? It's a two-way street.
Right.
So anyway, I think that's where we'll land it. August 23rd, or no, it's August. I guess this will be released on the 26th or 27th. Look for the live session coming up. Maybe we'll even do that on Labor Day weekend, Wayne. I mean, let's figure out if we're all in town. We'll have to get
this
back.
episode, David. This episode will come out at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I mean, I'm sorry, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on the 28th of August. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We always have the same release. And as a matter of fact, Dave and I are always at the premiere. So if you would like to watch this when it's premiered with the two of us, we invite you to do so. It's actually kind of a lot of fun. So yeah, let's do it.
Okay, everybody, we'll have a great week and look forward to seeing you at episode 16. Bye, everybody.
Rediscover peace and balance in your daily life with MelodyClouds, your ultimate companion for self-care and restful sleep. Imagine calming your nerves, easing daily tension, and waking up refreshed after a peaceful night's sleep. MelodyClouds is designed with you in mind, offering a vast collection of audiobooks, sleep music, and guided meditations to lead a healthier, more joyful life. Whether you're new to meditation or experienced, our guided sessions fit seamlessly into your busy schedule, helping you reduce stress and focus on your well-being. At less than half what other brands charge, we have taken the stress out of paying for stress relief. MelodyClouds is $2.99 for the first 2 months. You can continue monthly for $5.99 for as long as you like. That means you can try MelodyClouds for 60 days for less than the cost of 1 month of the other services. Join the millions of women who have embraced mindfulness and experienced transformative benefits. Our soothing melodies and ambient sounds are perfect for achieving a meditative state or gently drifting off to sleep. Listening to our sleep music before bed is a proven way to enhance your rest and rejuvenation. Explore over 18,000 original audiobooks narrated by industry favorites like Charles Dickens, Dante, Joseph Conrad, Oscar Wilde, and finally say goodbye to restless nights. Start your day with a moment of meditation and let MelodyClouds help you prioritize your health and happiness. Take a deep breath and discover your recipe for a balanced mood and emotional well-being. With MelodyClouds, peace and balance are just a tap away. Download today and transform your nights into restful slumbers and your days into serene reflections. Go to www.melodyclouds.com and begin your $2.99 60-day trial. This limited time offer will end soon.